Same thing on Saturday. Poor start, execution, really on all three phases. Wasn't great, but these guys did show some resilience and battled back. Played really some quality football in the second half, especially offensively. Going back to that first drive of the second half, huge third down by Tyjon. Chance makes a good throw, and then got some momentum, got back with the punt block. Critical play. Really, both Luke and Riley are in on that thing. Changed the game. And then we still had to finish it and got some stops on fourth down. Huge by the defense, and just really proud of the group. The whole effort. Just another typical Pac-12 game going down to the fourth quarter against a good program in Utah. It's a good football team. And so we're back to work, excited about the opportunity to go down to Berkeley and play Cal. Again, bunch of respect. Justin Wilcox, know a bunch of those coaches on that staff. Solid schemes on both sides. Had a really nice win last weekend. And you look at their scores throughout the year, all these games are down to one-score game. And so we're counting on another tough challenge this weekend.
Guess I'll start with letting you take a little bit of a victory lap here. You had three players players of the week this week in the Pac-12, which I think is unprecedented for during your 4 years. Noose and BJ. And Luke.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what that says, but it says something, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we won the game, which we're fired up on, but those guys did. All three of them played really well. I mean, even looking at the tape on Noose, I think he played one of his best games against a good defensive front. Luke changes the game on the punt block, so I think that's well deserved.
Some personnel stuff. Julian.
Long-term injury. We're finalizing an exact diagnosis here the next day or two, but we do not anticipate him playing again this year.
Tung and Sandberg didn't play Saturday. Was it just
both really different reasons, but we both anticipate them back this weekend.
Okay, so that's not. And Levingood, how's he progressing?
Progressed, did a little bit yesterday. We're going to see exactly where he's at Tuesday, but he'll be on the plane. We're hopeful he'll be good to go. And
then there's a couple of long-term guys I haven't heard anything about in a long time. McCartan, is he out for the year?
He has not gotten himself to a place to be able to practice. We've been working on it. He's been giving great effort. We've tried a couple of different things, but he's not close to getting back.
And Robinson is out for the year.
Correct.
And Isaac, is he anywhere close to?
He had a helmet on yesterday. He didn't do a ton, so we're not calling him completely out for the season, but not anticipating him this weekend or anything.
I did notice before the game that Tristan was throwing some passes, which I hadn't seen in a while. Is he getting better?
He's going to do a little bit more this week. When I say that, actually do some individual, but I wouldn't see him for this weekend.
Okay.
Going into this season, did you see this sort of breakthrough year that you're having? And so what sort of things did you see kind of coming together that would make that possible?
Yeah, I did see and feel confident that we were going to be able to win games. Each game's tough to win, but I thought I was confident each time we lined up, we had an opportunity to win the game. I think some of that confidence came from the leadership on the team, the experience we had, the continuity of schemes we've had on all three phases that we just continue to get better with that. And I felt like we got some good players, some guys that have played a lot, and some guys that were going to come on the scene, and so all of that built into confidence that we could win on Saturdays.
And you've had some big plays on special teams this season. Is it difficult at all to get guys to buy into the importance of those and want to be a part of those teams?
We've worked at it in regards to the buy-in. I go back to the leadership on this team. I think this team understands that special teams is vitally important. Guys want to be on phases of special teams, and it has. It's been solid. I go back to our punt unit being really good week in and week out, getting some great kickoffs from Everett. But when they have returned on our kickoffs, we've been solid there. And we're getting a bunch of contributions throughout the whole team on special teams.
You mentioned Trey Lowe after Saturday's game. I looked it up. But he had 4 touches in the game, and all 4 of them led to
first
down
downs
conversions, every one of them. Is he kind of just becoming your third down guy?
Well, he's great on third down because he's good in protection. He's been huge this year a couple of times when we've had conversions throwing it and he's pass blocked. He's a great threat to run it on third down. We're not always throwing the ball when it's 3rd and 6, 7. knows what he's doing. I guess I appreciated the guy so much because, again, BJ's playing really well. And so is Trey getting as many carries? No. But he's all in when he gets to that opportunity, and he was critically important to convert on those third downs.
There's still 5 games left, but could you start to make a case for Avery being Defensive Player of the Year in the Pac-12?
I mean, if they don't give out awards halfway through the year, but the guy's playing really well. He really is. I mean, he had a dynamic game, so productive last weekend. He's done it a lot of weeks. And so, yeah, he needs to continue to play at that high level, but he's one of the better defenders in this league.
Jonathan, it seems, at least over the last few years, that part of Cal's identity is making the game ugly and kind of mucking it up. What's something to kind of keep in mind for your guys' team as you go to face a team that plays that way?
Well, yeah, I think they play to their strength in regards to quality football on both sides. They're not trying to get into a track meet, and they don't need to do that because they're so good on defense year in and year out. They're effective offensively, and I think it starts with the quarterback and his ability to make decisions, but extend the play. They call some runs for the quarterback. And Chase has won a bunch of games, been experienced in this league. So I don't know if ugly is a good term for Cal, but I think it's just quality, and they play great team football.
What do you think of Cameron Good? What makes him such a good player?
Yeah, been around it. I think he plays well within that scheme, and they give him opportunities to make some plays. They got a bunch of solid players. They really do. Again, we've seen this scheme. They run defensively, especially for a long time. It's something that's always had good players within it, and this year's no different.
Your team has come back quite a bit this year. We've seen other Beaver teams or teams that can get out ahead, end up with good records, but not come back at all if they get down. What do you think that is? I know you talked about leadership on the team. There's got to be something too in the decisions, the coaching. But this team comes back even when they're down. I know it happened Saturday, 14 down, but it's happened several times.
Yeah, I know this team is well aware of how long college football games are. There's going to be momentum swings both ways throughout the game. These games, you win them in the fourth quarter. These things aren't over until the fourth quarter. So whether you're up or down, you still know you got to execute for a long time.
In regards to Chance, you haven't had a quarterback. Well, I don't know how to put this, but of all the quarterbacks you've had here, he's the sloppiest with the ball, and it's just security.
Security of it.
But he's different than Jake and Tristan. He's a different quarterback. Is there a little bit of a leeway? I mean, it's not that you want to see him fumble and all that stuff, but there's a little bit more leeway with him just because of his style. He gets out to the edges, and he's looking to make plays out there.
Yeah.
Or do you think he is getting too sloppy with the ball?
We want to tighten up the ball for sure. I do think that his game is different than those other guys in regards to extending it, hanging in the pocket, buying a little bit more time, keeping his eyes down the field. And so you run that risk when he extends the play and buys a little bit more time. But we want to tighten it up for sure on the ball security end.
With Cal, you've had a number of teams you've played here lately that you've had pretty significant losing streaks to. Washington State, Washington, Utah, blah, 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 USC. Now you got a team in Cal that you've actually beaten 2 times in a row. I know you guys have the mantra, one game a week, all that stuff, but do you wonder in the back of your head, this is a different team that you're playing, and they've had some success against them, and any chance of a overlooking them at all just because you have actually beaten this team a few times?
No, not overlooking in any way. Each year's different. Yeah, we beat these guys last year, but we beat the Ducks last year too, and I guarantee you when we get to that game, we're not going to be overlooking. Again, these guys understand that the approach, these games are going to be tight. It doesn't matter previous. Again, I go back to the leadership on this team. These guys have been through some tough times, and so now we respect everybody. We line up to play.
The third down defense really changed in the second half. What adjustments did you guys make in the
quarterback? Contain the quarterback, really started spying the quarterback on third down. The first half, we went in with the idea of doing some line gains up front, and we busted a couple of times and then left the queue available to extend the play and go. really put Avery/Omar on the quarterback on some of those third and longs, and it was effective.
Coach, in terms of chances second half and the throws that he made and the things that he hit, with all of the talk about, how can you get him going again, it looked like that happened in the second half.
Yeah, he had some huge explosive plays for us that needed. Bradford's one, get us down inside the 10, backed up on third down, takes the shot with Trey Sean. And the confidence that we had in him at that moment to do that. Look, not every play is going to be perfect, or every throw and whatnot, but he was pretty effective in this game, and we got a bunch of confidence with him as it continues to go.
How did Marco Brewer thrown into that spot for Jake? How's he been holding up?
Yeah, I thought he was solid. He didn't show up in a negative light in any way. Again, he'd been getting a lot of reps in practice, so it wasn't like the first time he's lining up next to Eldridge or anything. And we got some depth there, because I even feel like Tolley, the same way, could come into this game and be really productive if we needed him. And you need that at the O-line spot, so we were happy with what Marco did.
Since it's all on tape, so everybody saw it, but I wondered, seeing Luke Musgrave come up the middle, I'm not sure, I don't know if you've done that before, it's on tape now for everybody to see. Was that a different call for that punt return play?
He's always been rushing it, and we do put him at a different spot or two. Oftentimes, he is more of a contained thinking on the rush. To give some credit, Coach Cookus designing how we want to attack things, and really the belief, not just of Luke, but really all those guys coming, Riley, that this could change the game each time you rush the punt.
On the other one, did one of your guys, on the second one that ended up not happening, but did you get a hand on that, or
Yeah.
did he kick it into his own guy? Or?
Cody Anderson gets his big paw up and deflects it.
And I know I wasn't here after the game, so it's my first chance to ask you, but was part of the two guys with the same number anything to do with injuries and somebody not getting the message communicated as quickly as needed to be?
Yeah, it definitely it took place because of injury, with Alton and Jaden being down, and you get some different guys in the game. But ultimately, that's on the coaches. We got to sort that out. It was painful, too, because it was after a long break. I think this was the first play of the fourth quarter. We had time. So, yeah, we got to get that fixed.
Forgot to ask about Jaden. I can't remember the rules on that. You can't. He's definitely out for the first half.
First half.
There's no review or anything like that.
There has not
They
been.
can turn that over.
Yeah,
So he's out.
not been anything there.
I just want to make sure that he was out.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk so far about the balance on offense, wanting to get that passing game established again. 260 yards with the run, 208 with the pass. Was this kind of that progress that you were looking for?
Yeah, it was. Again, each week we're going to do whatever we can to score some points, but I think we're the most effective when we have some good balance like that. And, our total play count is not that high. I think we only repped about 60 plays offensively. But if we can have some balance and be really effective / explosive in the passing game, it's only going to complement the run game better.
And with the run game in particular, I mean, it's reaching historic levels now, the success that you've had. This is now 6 games in a row of 200 yards or more. Have you ever had that kind of weapon in the run game before at any of your previous coaching stops? I mean,
Right.
being able to rely on it to the extent you have.
Maybe not to this extent. Most of the background I've been around, Coach Lindgren, Coach Mahalchek, want to run the ball and establish that. But it's been highly effective the last few weeks. We'd love to keep that going against a good Cal defense. I mean, you look at these guys, you want statistically just in conference games. We're talking about the best defense in the conference. You just go off of conference games right now.
The possibility of reaching bowl eligibility this week. I know you're probably not going to go out of your way to talk about it with the players, but has it been mentioned at all in the locker room? Is that something that you're going to kind of allow them to focus on?
What's conversated in the locker room, I allow that to be their locker room. These guys are aware of it. To have the kind of special year you want to have, you got to hit bowl eligibility at some point, and yeah, we're hoping to do it. Thanks.